What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here coming back at you with another 2 minute drill episode, man. Yesterday, we sadly had to cover the very first loss of the Deion Sanders era at Jackson State, so make sure to go check that out. Some of my favorite content I put out there. We break down what went wrong with the Tigers, how they can improve, and just kind of project how I think they're going to do throughout the rest of the season, which, spoiler, I think they're going to be just fine. But today, we're going to settle an old debate, man. We're in the middle of an amazing March Madness. We have seen absolute chaos, man. Just, I don't even know what to even think about what has happened in March, man. I mean, I understand the bubble and everything else that's going on. It's like, man, you expected a few upsets, but I mean, we're going into Sweet 16 with just pure chaos. I mean, there's not even a semi-perfect bracket out there. Everyone is just scrambling for answers. This bracket redo is going to be really needed this year. But I'm going to address the old. I mean, it's going to be a debate till the end of time or until college football changes something on how to determine a college football champion. Should the college football playoff be expanded to more than four teams, whether you like 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 64, I don't care. Should it be expanded and why? I mean, let's kind of go through why this is a debate, what our systems have kind of become that throughout time. But it started out AP polls and just various polls with around the country determined the winner somewhat. I mean, and then it really just came down to what poll you subscribed to, what poll you liked, when that poll was finalized, and the pride of the school, which I mean, it led to much debate about who claimed what title. And, it had some problems. Let's just be honest. 1941, for example, Alabama finishes 8-2. They're ranked 20th in the AP poll, third in the SEC, but they claim that national title. I mean, I know I'm an Auburn fan. We'll get to some other examples, but that one's a blatant, obvious. Like, how do you have to really reevaluate that title? It's probably one of the most blatant examples. 1950, Oklahoma claims a national title after being beaten by Kentucky in the Sugar Bowl and finishing with their season with a loss. Which there's plenty of examples of this, but this is so blatant. The NCAA retroactively went back and claimed Kentucky as a co-national champion that year. That's kind of embarrassing, man. You have 1950 all over Norman claiming this national title when you didn't even win your bowl game, and the team that beat you is the NCAA co-champion. Just go ahead and throw it away. Why do you even want that national championship? And the reason they really got it, they were on a 30-game win streak before that loss to Kentucky, but I still don't understand it. There's multiple other examples. But the voting disparities, the pride of universities, it really made winning, I guess, like quote unquote, winning a national championship a really tough issue to determine. Well, we come back down. The BCS is the next big thing here. It was a major improvement, but it came with some issues that led to its downfall after the 2013 season. 2003, USC misses the chance to compete for a national championship as a one-loss Pac-12 champion, even though Oklahoma loses the Big 12 championship to K-State. They stay in the top two. LSU eventually beats them for the title. USC dominates in their bowl game, and it leads to Nick Saban's first championship. So this has historical implications, but how in the world are you not a conference champion, but this, I guess, formula makes it seem like, oh, you can lose this game and go straight into the national championship. Well, they got beat. Clearly, they weren't ready for that LSU team. Was USC debatable? But that Reggie Bush team was pretty amazing. I mean, let's be completely honest. The 2004 debacle, which really was the true start of the downfall of this system, an undefeated SEC Auburn team left out of the BCS championship for Oklahoma and USC, who just suffered the same fate last year, except they were a one-loss team. USC and Auburn both completed their seasons undefeated. USC was stripped of their championship for the Reggie Bush pay scandal. But the SEC commissioner, SEC fan base really began their campaign to tear this system down from the inside, which really just kind of led to the demolishment of the BCS we saw in 2013. And then another blatant one, which I mean, I can see the debate either way, but many non-SEC supporters point to this year, 2011, when LSU and Alabama got a rematch after they already played. They got a rematch in the national championship, Alabama getting the revenge national championship win over LSU, and probably one of the most boring national championship games of all time, while Oklahoma State, one-loss Big 12 champion, gets left out. Everyone's like, man, how does this even happen? Why would you rather see a rematch over a new opponent from two separate conferences? It pretty much was the final nail in the straw of the BCS. Well, now we have the college football playoff. It was dubbed away for conference champions, non-group of 5 teams, and the best 4 teams in the country to compete for a national title. Well, my first obvious problem is, okay, if you say if you're a conference champion, you deserve a chance, aren't there 5 Power 5 conferences and we got 4 spots? That's always going to leave somebody out. We've seen the Big Ten miss. We've seen the Pac-12 miss. I believe we've seen the Big 12 miss, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, how in the world do you fit 5 conference champions into 4 spots plus a group of 5 program who could be on the rise? We've seen UCF, we've seen Cincinnati, BYU, who Coastal Carolina, whoever you want to put there. How did they get a shot if you can't even fit the 5 Power 5 champions in the playoff? Therefore, guys, the debate's always going to be there about whether we should expand to 4 more teams or we should keep it the same. Well, I mentioned earlier in the show, March Madness is in full swing, and I think, just my opinion, I've always been an advocate of expansion. You can go back and check the episode. I'll probably link it in this episode somewhere. You can go back and hear my 12-team plan to expand the playoffs with bye weeks, with home field advantages, things like that, which I really love. But even if you just expand it to 6 or 8, I'm fine with it. Just give us some, I guess, wiggle room for who can actually make this playoff. So I'm going to break down why March Madness gives us an obvious answer of resounding yes. Listen, figureheads such as Colin Cowherd on his show have been real vocal about this. Other national media execs who really just focus on the pro sport. They really don't break down a lot of college football, to be honest with y'all. They think that the lack of parity or supposed parity in college football gives them a resounding answer, which is no. Their argument is centered around the idea that there's never been a team outside the top 4 or 5 teams that can win a national championship. And their argument is they don't even think there's 4 teams that can win the national championship some years. I disagree. Wholeheartedly, I disagree with this. And I plan on using March Madness here to kind of lay out my case why this will increase the parity in college football, actually, while creating a more exciting framework for the college football playoff. I mean, listen, the main argument is that college football has no parity. But are we just ignoring the fact that in a 1-game scenario, which we see throughout the season, for all the marbles, the opportunity to advance, to either end or continue your season, are you telling me that the top seeded team is always going to win? Are we just ignoring? I get they're rare, guys, but I mean, are we just going to ignore the possibility of upsets? Michigan, Appalachian State, Purdue, Ohio State just a few years ago. What about in 2007, Stanford, USC, a 41-point underdog Stanford beats USC, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, listen, some of the best Alabama, the best Clemson teams, the best Ohio State teams, whoever you want to put up there, have been beaten. In a 1-game scenario with everything on the line, it can happen, guys. And listen, anything can happen in a single game. And we see this year after year after year in this March Madness tournament, in which superstar talent, I think, has a greater impact with only 5 people. If you have one superstar on your team, you got a Cade Cunningham, a Zion Williamson, whoever you want to put up there, you're going to make a run. You saw Kemba Walker drag an 8-seed UConn team all the way to the championship. Carmelo Anthony with Syracuse in 2003. It can be done, and it has been done. Florida Gulf Coast made a run, man. Are you serious? And I think the talent disparity between, let's say, this year, Cincinnati and Alabama in college football isn't even as great as a Florida Gulf Coast, whoever you want to put them up against. I believe they beat Gonzaga, if I'm not mistaken. I think the difference is a lot less there. And I went and looked up some stats for March Madness in terms of what are the odds these different seeded teams, make a run. I mean, guys, for the first round, a 35 or more percent chance to win to win a first round game, 35 or more percent chance to win all the from 1 to 12 seed. That means anyone from a 1 to 12 seed can make a run in the NCAA tournament. I mean, how much more obvious can that be, guys? You have a 35% chance to see just something crazy. And in the Elite Eight, even 11 seeds have a 50% chance of winning based on actual results. Final four teams as low as an 8 seed have winning percentages higher than 50% when they get there. It can happen. Now, listen, I understand it's low odds. Let's not ignore the fact that, but it's low odds. Yes, the Alabama, the Clemson, the Ohio States are going to have a better shot per se at making a run at winning the championship. I get that. They already have that now. But why are we, I guess, limiting ourselves on the possibilities, the potential upsets? Listen, I think that there will be great games between the top 8 teams or the top 12 teams in college football based on the college football format. I absolutely do. I also think that this will help the recruiting disparity we're seeing. I know some people don't believe that, but let me explain. There's only 4 spots to make. So the kids want a chance at a national title. That's what you fight for as a college football student or football athlete. Why would you go anywhere other than the few teams who dominate those 4 spots, who do it a lot based on name recognition and stuff like that? And so now they're getting all the big recruits already on top of all the history and advantages they have. It's the same 4 to 6 teams. I mean, okay, guys, let me break down. These are the teams. I believe there's 11 or 12 college football teams who have made the playoff. Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Oregon, LSU, Notre Dame, Florida State, Michigan State, and Washington. Those are it. That's it. Those are your teams that have made the playoffs. Now, I get that people don't want to go all the way to 12 like I do, or even further, like 16, like I've heard some people do. Let's just go to 8. That's the conservative side. That's 4 extra teams. Listen to the teams that would have had a chance at least once to go to the college football playoff. We have Texas A&M, Florida, Cincinnati, Baylor, Wisconsin, Michigan, UCF, Auburn, USC, Penn State, Iowa, Stanford, TCU, and Mississippi State. That is 14 different teams would have had an opportunity to play for a national title, and you're telling me not one of them could have made it past the first round or made a real run at a national championship. You're telling me that 2014 TCU team with that explosive offense and that nasty defense under Gary Patterson couldn't have just gotten hot at the right time. You're telling me Saquon Barkley and that Penn State team couldn't have just got lucky one day and won the national title. That Auburn team that would have made it, that 2017 team was like already had 2 losses coming off a beatdown in Death Valley at LSU where they blew a 20-0 lead. They went so hot they were beating the 2 national championship teams by double digits. Are you telling me someone can't get hot in the tournament? We're seeing it right now. Buddy Boeheim in Syracuse is shooting the 3-ball like Steph Curry from the logo and just saying, I'm that good. I'm that wet. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I mean, this is a thing that could happen. And in terms of recruiting, so we have, 11 teams that have made it? Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Oregon, Georgia, LSU, Notre Dame, all were top 10 recruiting classes in the past few years. But look at the teams that could have made it. A&M, Florida, Baylor, Wisconsin, Michigan, Auburn, USC, Penn State. These are teams that have been down at times but could have benefited from the money, the exposure, the perception, the recruiting pitch. Like, we can get into the playoffs. Who's going to Florida, A&M, or Auburn when they're like, oh, yeah, there's already 2 or 3 teams that have made the playoffs, and it's not y'all. It really hurts the fact that you can't go to one school. And listen, I just want to say this. The recruiting disparity in college basketball is worse than the one in football. And we still see teams year in and year out upset and make big runs at national titles and sometimes win them. Yes, I get it. Well, the true thing is that Alabama's, the Ohio State's, the Clemson's, they're going to win a lot of games and titles. But wouldn't y'all want to watch this every year? Have a college football bracket to fill out? March Mad of a what? A January Madness, whatever you want to put. I mean, January Jamboree, whatever you want to call it. I mean, wouldn't y'all want to watch that? And what about the years where it happens, man? Wouldn't it be so cool to look back 2016, Penn State wins the national title, or you look back at 2014, TCU's the national champion. It could happen, and that's what I'm saying is like we're saying that we're acting like this is a 0% chance thing, and it's not, guys. And I think that the March Madness is proving that the college football playoff needs expansion, needs parity. It will increase visibility, increase the money draw, increase the fan interest for average fans. It will do so many things, and I think this is one of the ways we can fix the supposed, which I don't think is even real, the supposed parity problem in college football, especially in recruiting. I get it. I mean, I listen. I speak for us by saying I think the intrigue and the hype would be in an all-time high, and I think a 6 or 8 team playoff bracket will let that March Madness level of excitement reach college football, and I think we could see realistic change in college football due to this. And I am so excited to see this happen. So, guys, in the comments, man, let me know what y'all think. Should we expand the playoffs? And if we did, what teams would benefit? Who do you go back and look at the playoff results? Who could have made a realistic run if this would have been expanded? Let me know why I'm wrong. If you disagree, I want to get these comment sections bumping with opinions, debates, and some interaction, man. So I appreciate y'all so much, man. We gained some more subscribers today, man. We are up over 50 now. So I really, really appreciate y'all for that, man. I appreciate y'all taking 15, 20 minutes of your time to come here and listen to me talk some college football. I really hope y'all are enjoying it. So, guys, make sure to subscribe to the Blue Bloods here. Hit that notification bell on the top right. That way you're notified anytime we drop a 2-minute drill, a normal Blue Bloods episode, any type of content we put out on our YouTube channel. And like I said, we hit 100 subscribers. We are picking 5 of the first 100 subscribers, giving y'all a big merch bundle. So make sure to do that, man. Y'all don't want to miss out on that. And that way we can go ahead and launch our merch for this, man. We appreciate y'all so much. But until tomorrow, man, for myself, for the Blue Bloods, and the 2-minute drill, we are out.